Hey everybody, this is Lee with the Tavern Brawlers, and Casey and Ogar here with me to do an episode of What's in the Box. This is going to be our first episode of What's in the Box, a very long series to come of opening up this really cool stuff that we get in the mail. We're excited about the card games that we play, and as community builders and organizers, tournament organizers, and as passionate players, we tend to get a lot of really cool, crazy stuff in the mail, and we want to share our passion with you and the passion that we have for these games. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Today I have a package coming in from the game Varia. Uh, we are going to open this up and talk about what's inside. And so let's just jump right into it here. I'm going to go ahead and open this up while Casey takes away the intro.
Hey everybody, this is Casey here. This is going to be for the game called Varia. It's produced by Guildhouse Games. It's a card and dice dueling game where players select from one of 15 fantasy-themed classes. You and your opponent will take turns playing out a course of action before rolling dice to see whose tactics come out on top. By using a combination of weapons, armor, and cards in hand, players concoct a plan of actions, or response to an incoming attack, each turn. The goal is to knock the other player's health points to zero through clever card combinations while simultaneously preventing your own defeat by planning tactical defensive moves.
Yeah, I think my favorite way to describe the game is that it's a first-person fighting card game. So it's like a lot of people are familiar with the game Flesh and Blood, which all three of us actually do play. And in that game, you have your hero card on your game, your play mat. You have your equipment cards and all that, and you're playing that hero, but that hero exists in the game. Whereas in Varia, you're not playing the hero so much as you are the hero in that encounter, kind of like in a D&D encounter, right? Like you are the hero. You represent the hero. The hero isn't represented by some other game piece. So you're able to you get to be part of the narrative that is told as the game is played. And that's actually another aspect of the game that I really like, is that because of the way the timeline is set up and actions are performed, it really does kind of form a narrative.
I think something that makes Varia really unique here is that the card performance is introduced via dice. There's a distance mechanic that creates immersive ranged combat. You have no resources in your deck. You have equal resources each turn. And there's no minions, summons, or creatures. Each card represents something you're going to be doing. It kind of feels very similar to something like D&D. Like if you took a vertical slice of a D&D encounter and made it a 1v1 you versus another opponent, you really get that feel in this card game.
Yeah, 100%. And there's so many different classes that they're actually in the game right now. There are 15, and from what we've been hearing from the creators of the game, we're actually potentially coming up on another yet to be announced class potentially coming soon. I don't, who knows exactly when or what that'll be, but there are already 15 different decks and characters you can play in the game, and with more on the way, I mean, it just means that there's a wide variety. And then if you really get into the game, you can kind of create your own characters by building your own constructed decks in addition to the out-of-the-box decks. So that is the starter kit, which I absolutely love, and I personally think it's one of the best intro products that I have ever seen for a card game.
Something that makes that really special is it's a 2v2, or it's a 1v1, so you and another friend get to brings you some dice, brings you the Shadow Assassin and Volcanic Warrior. But what it also does is give you special promos. Something unique for this game is it is not a TCG. It's not a collectible card game. This is an expandable card game, an XCG. So what you're seeing on the table here is the game. Everything is built out of these decks. Their primary format is called Out of the Box. What that means is you just play with one of these decks, and that's their main tournament format. So in this case, what you see on this table is every class, hero, and deck you can play in the game. You buy the one, you're good to go to a tournament and kick some butt.
So I have not played a single game of Varia yet. Where do you recommend I start with all of this product? I got some starter decks. I got some bundles of the next set that came out, right? Is that what this is? The next set?
Mm-hmm. That's the season. That's the whole set. That white box there with the amazing embossed Varia logo on top. I love that image on the side there. Anyway, that box right there that you're holding has all 7 of the Season 2 decks. So there are 7 decks inside that box, just like you have what is it? The other 7 decks laid out in front of you there. So the 7 decks that are laid out in front of you there and individually make up what is basically called Season 1 of Varia. So those are all the original 7 decks that were released. And of those 7 decks that you have there, that one on top, the Volcanic Warrior, and then the other one that you had grabbed, the Assassin. So
Look for a
that
green
one.
guy with some daggers.
That guy. So those 2 decks, the Volcanic Warrior and the Shadow Assassin, those are the 2 that are included in that starter product. So if you buy that starter deck or that starter set, you're going to get both of those decks. You're going to get dice in order, because there are dice in this game. You're going to get the dice you need to play the decks and to resolve your attacks. You're going to get a rule book that actually has a comic book in it, which is really cool. And you're going to get, like Casey had mentioned, the decks are actually going to include alternate art versions of the cards that you won't get if you buy the regular version of the decks. So, but the other thing that I think that I don't want to gloss over that Casey had mentioned is that if you buy one of the decks, because the main format of the game is out of the box, you literally buy that one deck and you have the deck. There's no going out and cracking packs and buying boxes and hoping you hit a high rarity card. There's no trading with your friends and hoping you have enough cards you don't need and they have the card you do need and they don't need it. There's none of that running around and extra work. You literally buy the deck that you want to play and you play it, and that's all you need to be on the exact same competitive footing as anyone else playing the game. So there is no pay to win in this game. There's no advantage to having more money, any of that kind of stuff. You literally just buy the deck and you play it. You're on the same footing as everyone else. And I think that's a really great aspect of this game.
And if you wanted to get started, your best bet is going to be either picking up that 2-player starter kit that we have here. That'll be 2 decks. You can split it with a friend. I believe the cost comes out to be a little less than just 2 decks you'd buy on your own. Again, you get the special promos. Or pick any other deck that has the coolest cover art and just buy it. It's $16. You really cannot go wrong.
Yeah, I think the starter set is like $25, which is insane. You could spend, I think it's somewhere around 25. Don't quote me. You have to go look it up. But I think it's like $25 plus shipping, and you and a friend each have a deck. You can play the game. You're 100% in it, and you don't, like a lot of games, like, you know, if you're playing Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood, any of these other games, if you buy a starter a deck, you have to then like go buy other things to add to that deck to make it competitively viable. That's not the case in this game. You buy the starter set, you already have the best version of those decks that exist. And then if you really want to dive into the game, you can buy the seasons as sets. Like you can buy all 7 of those Season 1 decks, or you can buy that amazingly packaged kit that Lee's holding that has all 7 of the Season 2 decks. The Season 1 decks are awesome, but those Season 2 decks are something special. I think that the designers of the game did a great job with the Season 1 decks, but they learned from those and they made even more amazing decks in that Season 2, in my opinion. My personal favorite deck in the game is from Season 2. I absolutely love it. Playing it is insanely fun. I think that this is the most fun card game that I've played.
So I'm going to go ahead and open up this Varia starter set for you guys so we can see what's inside of it. Right off the bat, I took that cellophane wrapping off, and the texture is nice. It's not like that super gloss that feels gross and disgusting. It's a very flat kind of surface, and it just feels just very clean and very nice. So I'm going to pop this off here. It's a standard gaming cardboard box. And here we have the starter set. This is is this the rules book or the comic?
That'll be the rule book and the comic book.
Yeah, it's a comic book that has a story of the encounter between these 2 characters, and then the comic basically ends with the 2 of them starting a fight, and you get to play the game and find out how the fight goes through your gameplay.
This is my first time seeing these images and seeing these artworks and seeing this comic stuff as well. So this is a pretty special experience for me personally. And then yeah, right inside there we have the how to play guide. And
it'll describe how the turns work, what you need to do, what all the symbols in the game mean, what the card, like what the keywords are. All of that information is right at your fingertips when you buy that starter set.
And this book feels very nice too. It's a very nice size, and it fits in the box nicely. So there's no worries about having to lose that. Got dice. I'm guessing a set of each dice for each of the people that play.
That's correct. Every our cards will have power, which is their attack or their block value, and then they also have focus, which has to do with attacks being able to get through blocks. And so you've got D6s for power, D4s for focus, and then those are the two characters that you get to play as out of the starter set: the Volcanic Warrior and the Shadow Assassin. And that's the card back, which I think is really cool.
I think that
something
card
they've
back
also
is really
done.
cool.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Something else they've also done with this is those two cards we saw up front are actual cards. They're not anything special. They're just cards with the arts. But those are the only ways to get those little character cards. Season 2 decks will come with a little actual card with the character on it. But for Season 1 decks, those are the only two that are available, which is another unique feature of the starter set.
Yep. Yeah, and that starter set is the only way to get that comic. Unless you go to interpopcomics.com and buy a digital copy of it. But if you want a physical copy of that comic, you have to buy the starter set. And so all of those decks, they all play extremely differently. They all have different attributes. Kind of like if you're used to the different colors in Magic or the different classes in Flesh and Blood. In Varia, there are different attributes. We've got, for example, the Volcanic Warrior is aggression. So that deck is very much about big attacks. It's about hitting really hard, and it's exactly what you would expect from a Volcanic Warrior. Or you've got the Shadow Assassin, as you would expect from an assassin. He is tricky, he moves around really easily, and he can do things that you don't expect him to do. And he's not maybe hitting as hard, but because he's so tricky, he can get hits through that you don't see coming.
Next up, we're going to have the Divine Paladin. This is actually based off of Faith. His whole shtick is he's got a god, and he's going to use it to beat you up. He's going to play very defensively. He's going to be a lot of blocking and just big hits. And he's going to judge you personally for all the sins you've committed. Next up is going to be the Cosmic Mage. This is the intellect hero. This is very much about using magics and sorceries to craft these big turns or even play with the fundamental design of how you fight the game. Something with these decks I want to mention as well, they'll actually have a difficulty rating. Guildhouse Games has spent a very long time fine-tuning how complex each of these decks exist as, and they spent a lot of effort to then say how hard a deck is to play. So something you can find on their website is the difficulty scale of each deck. So some of them will be really easy to play, some of them will be really complex to play. So if you're used to card games and you like playing a really tough, difficult combo deck, you've got something here for you. If you like playing aggro smashy Ogar aggro, you got the Volcanic Warrior.
That's right.
Well, this guy, the
Death Pirate, she is the charisma hero from Season 1. She's very much about convincing you to move around, convincing you to do things you don't want to do, and then punishing you for it. The great mechanic in that deck is she summons her ship, and then when she convinces you to move, her ship shoots you. And it's amazing. It's so fun. And then I would say, talking about difficulty rating, I think the most difficult deck to play and to play well out of the Season 1 is the Sixth Blade. That is the Tenacity hero. And he plays around with, because there are blocks and attacks in the game, and he has the ability to plan blocks. When you plan blocks on your own turn, or even on your opponent's turn, you can choose, you can play around with the sequence of the turn and make one of those blocks into an attack, and it can be really difficult for your opponent to tell what you're about to do.
Last hero is the Mystic Monk. This is the Spirit hero. This is very much around two main mechanics here, around gaining chi, which helps you actually pay for resources, as well as making sure you're balanced. Like in a real monk, you have to make sure you're balanced between your yin and yang, and in this case, it's the angelic and demonic. And so it plans a lot of turns around making sure you find balance, and in doing so, you're rewarded and you can beat up the other player with it.
Yeah, it's crazy the stuff that you can do with that deck. If you have a way to make your discard balanced based on what you've played throughout the game, it can reward you. If you can create a balanced turn through the angelic and demonic, it can reward you. So there's a lot of that. Because it's a monk, it makes sense that there's that kind of balance of spirit in order to improve the effectiveness of your turn.
So I think I want to open this. I really kind of want to do it.
Dude, and it's so great what they did with the packaging for Season 2.
I love this box so much.
Oh, and we're not even... Yeah, open that up and experience what you're about to see.
So here's what I'll say about the season 1 decks. The boxes the season 1 decks come in are perfect for the cards that come in the boxes. But if you're going to sleeve up those decks, you got to then, put the sleeve deck into a deck box. What they intentionally did with the season 2 is if you get the right sleeves, like there are certain Dragon Shield sleeves, I think there's certain sleeves where sleeves are just a little too tall for the boxes that come in that season 2 set. But if you get the right size sleeves, and they're not hard to get, they're just regular sleeves. If you get the right size sleeves, you can sleeve up the deck and then put it back in the box that the deck comes in.
And so
That's why it's so much larger.
We're not referencing the outside package too. Go ahead and open that up, and you'll see what we mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm just
open the
looking at the
box.
volume without even opening it up yet. I see 7 decks. Now I see them up. They're going to expand, and it's going to take up more of this box space. And I imagine we'll still need some space for some other stuff like the dice that are part of the game. All
No,
right,
the,
so
the boxes take up
So
way
yeah,
more
go
space
ahead
from
and check
season
this out.
2.
oh,
Yeah.
all right, all
You,
right,
you see how much bigger those boxes are? It's because
yeah,
you can sleeve the decks and then put the deck back into the box.
okay, all right. Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
they left extra space in the box so that people who like me like to sleeve everything can be able to sleeve this up for play and be able to store it back in the same box so that it has this really beautiful container to contain it in, and then even more beautiful box to contain the whole set in. Myself, I'm a completionist, so I'd want to have this entire row sleeved up, ready to go, ready to play with friends. I could just take this small box with me to an LGS or to a family event or to game night with my friends and just pop this out and be like, we're gonna have some fun games and everything's all sleeved up, so I don't have to worry about you guys messing up the cards too much.
Well,
Yep.
the
And
great thing
so
is too, like you can choose if you brought that box with you to like a family event or an LGS, you'd be able to choose like, you know what, today I feel like playing the Phoenix Spell Sword, and your friend can say, cool, I want to play the Stone Root Druid. Awesome, now we play. The next time you
and
play, one of you might want to play the Deathblood Sorcerer.
And you found another little hidden secret. Well, it's not hidden, it's advertised. This is the rule book and lore book for the Season 2 deck. It has an explanation of every class, some of their key cards, a couple other combos, and what the goal of each deck is trying to do,
Yeah.
along with the full rule set, which fits inside the box. So when you go and take it to your local game store or your game night, you have the rule book with you inside the box.
And it's a really easy way if you're introducing somebody to the game, you can show them like, oh, they think that the Boreal Ranger looks cool. Awesome. Open up the book to the page for the Boreal Ranger, and they can read his lore. They can see what he's all about. They can get an idea of what he's trying to do and how he's trying to accomplish his goals in the game. And then you can choose which character you want to play and just play the game. It's super, super fun. The same 7 attributes that we went through for the season 1 decks are present here. They're just different characters that utilize those attributes in slightly different ways. So we still got, aggression and tenacity, subtlety, spirit, faith, and intellect.
Trying to figure out which way to put this. There we go.
Other way around is the
Yeah, so unfortunately, when I had the video
there we go.
recording set up
Mm-hmm.
for myself, I had it set up and oriented correctly on my OBS, and then I had
Ah,
it through the Discord, and the Discord plays tricks on it, and then I'm
I
picking it up
gotcha.
through the Discord, and it reversed it on me again. So I do apologize to viewers. I will get that straightened up for my next What's in the Box opening video, which will be coming very soon as well. I'm very excited about this series. This has been something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. I'm finally getting to it and doing it on an official way to be able to share with you guys. Uh, so
I
if
think the
this is
Varia product
no,
is so amazing to open. I think this is a great way to start doing
yeah,
these what's in the box.
if you want to get into the game, come hang out with us in the tavern. Check this out. On July 24th, we're going to do throughout most of the day an introductory how to play, learn how to play. Come pick up some games, demo the game with Olgar and Casey here. We might be able to get some people from the Varia community to come hang out with us as well to showcase the game to you guys. But we've got two amazing experts right here with us right now. Casey, also, if you want to go ahead and plug your channel real quick, Casey has been doing a lot of videos for Varia and has actually helped to develop a database for the game as well.
Yeah, so Ogar and myself have both been playing some games for Varia. It's up on my YouTube channel. It'll be pinned once you get inside the Tavern Brawlers Discord. It's also just called Grieve Valorn, same as my username basically everywhere else. Currently, we're going through all the Season 1 decks, so you'll be seeing each of the heroes and decks on the right here fighting against each other. And right now, we're in between seasons, so we've just wrapped up all of the Season 1 fights, and we're going to start with Season 2. You're also going to see a hero in that series that you haven't actually seen on this table yet. So come check that out. That'll be a pretty fun surprise to see what happens between seasons. So yeah, go check. Feel free to check it out. And like you said as well, I built a little card database deck builder, so if you want to get a little spicy in it, then that's a resource we also have available for you as well.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and plug the link for Casey's videos as well in the description of the video. Um, so we want to try to get you guys involved in the game too. So we're gonna be giving away a starter set and a complete box set and a tournament to come
Wow.
up. So you
Dang.
guys want to get involved? We're going to be giving these out during the end of the introductory demo games. So come play the game, just check it out. You don't have to commit to anything. It doesn't cost anything to come play or enter into the contest to win these. These guys are for you guys just to get in and have fun and share that passion that we're sharing with you guys. We know that it's a fun game, and we want to get you guys involved in it as well and see what we can do with it
Oh,
as a community.
one last thing I want to make sure people are aware of: if you have TTS, like I know a lot of people play other card games on Tabletop Simulator. If you have Tabletop Simulator, we can get you set up. There is actually a way to play this game on Tabletop Simulator, so that you would be able to watch the game be played and participate in playing the game yourself before you actually have any product in hand. And that's going to help you know what you think about the game. It's going to give you an opportunity to try it before you put any money into it. And then hopefully, I know the way I felt as soon as I started playing the game, I immediately fell in love with it. Hopefully you will too. And because the barrier to entry for this game is so low, the cost in terms of dollars is so low that hopefully it will be, even for people who don't have the hundreds of dollars necessary to build competitive decks in some other card games, hopefully you will feel comfortable, if you do enjoy the game, to purchase a deck or two and start playing yourself, whether that's a starter set, any of the individual decks, because even those Season 2 decks you can purchase individually, or you can just get the entirety of Season 2 in that beautiful package, and you can also buy the entirety of Season 1 as well. So all of these decks are available at a very, very affordable cost, and like I said, you can get the bundles or whatever you want to do, but having that opportunity to play on Tabletop Simulator or even Tabletopia is another avenue to play the game without putting any money into it. I just want people to know that that is an option, so you don't have to feel like you have to put money into it before you actually find out what you think of the game.
Something I'd like to leave you off with. I think the developers of this game are incredible people. They are great people in the community. They're always willing to help people out, talk with everyone, just hang out and communicate. Every Thursdays they run a Varia day where they stream for about half an hour and then go into their Discord and just talk with people, try to play games in. I think they've really wanted to spearhead a great community, and I think they've done it well because they are also great people that have made a great game.
I would second that. I've been involved in the Varia community for the over half a year now, and the guys that developed the game are amazing people, and the whole community that they have developed in their Discord and in their spaces is really amazing. And we're hoping that we can continue that and build a community, add to their community that they have already built, and also add to the community we have in our Tavern Discord, where we can not only play the other games that we already play in there, but also add Varia as one of the games that people can enjoy, spend time hanging out together, and make more friends, enjoy more games, and just all around have a good time.
The reason that we all do exactly everything that we do is because we really believe in bringing people together to be able to play, and that's the core drive behind what we do. Is because we want to enjoy you guys, we want to enjoy their games, we want to enjoy everything that we do with all of you out there, and I think that you guys too, and that do too, and that's why we all come together and create these communities, and that's what the Tavern Brawlers are all about. So I want to thank you all for staying and listening to this video and checking out this amazing game. And this being our first episode of What's in the Box, I hope that that you're enticed to see what else I got for you in the next video. Thank you all so much, and have a wonderful evening. And I'll see you again in the next episode. Bye.
Goodbye.